Okay, folks, welcome back. Saturday evening edition, and I am falling a freaking sleep. So I had to go and get some coffee because I don't want to fall asleep at this time right now. That's not part of the plan. Part of the plan is to get stuff done while I can. So let's try and finish this T35 up. Let's touch up the details that we have on here. And let's get out the chocolate brown and clean this stuff up. Today's been a rainy day all day long. It's been dreary and it's making me fall asleep. Barnes White, how was the game? Well, I don't know if I'm gonna play. I don't know if I'm gonna play rapid fire again. It was okay. The company's always good. It's just it's it does not even come close to scratching World War II itch for me. It's just a lot of vagueness where on stuff that I would prefer for it to have detail. So it was a close game. We almost won, but that part's not important. It's just very, I don't know. It just doesn't scratch my itch. I think I think command decision's actually better. And it's the same scale of the game. It's just, like check 35s, 38s are exactly the same in the game. It's just lacks it just lacks details for me. We had some Stukas in the game. They couldn't do shit. They got run off like by right. Like everybody responded to it. Like everybody shot at the Stukas before they even got up, and they had no anti-aircraft weapons. We only had two of them, so they never did anything. Even though we called them in at the right time. Found it took. I found it too tank heavy. Great looking books though. Yeah, the books look great. Um, the tanks aren't interesting enough to play, and neither is the infantry. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. So, um, yeah. And there was both sides rolled so bad at certain parts we couldn't do anything. So it was, the die rolling was equal. Both sides rolled at certain times. They just both rolled really poorly. So, just not my thing. The books are beautiful, though. Just found there's not too many different ways to skin a cat in it. It's kind of cut and dry what you're going to do. And I don't like games that have this opportunity fire where it's like, okay, stop what you're doing, move back to here, we're going to shoot at you here, kind of thing. It's it just drags the game on too much. Iraqi sand. And what I really want to do this weekend is this. And man, this takes a long time to get anything done. I rarely have a day to myself, much less several days to myself, and I really want to capitalize on that. But anyhow, the company was good. It's got nothing to do with that. All right. Let's... Honestly, with all the rules are out there, I'm surprised anybody plays it. But, you know, different strokes for different folks. I don't necessarily have a problem with the scale of the game. I don't mind 1 to 5. I felt like I wasn't making any decisions that there was like a lack of command and control. I don't know. I had too much freedom to do what I wanted. Okay, let's get the bushes and stuff out here. Honestly, the last time I played Flames of War, I thought Flames of War was actually better. Although, I probably wouldn't like that either, but... Alright, we need to do regular grass and then tufts. Alright, so the regular grass is down here. Let's go ahead and take some time to recoup some of this. I haven't done that in a long time. I'm not looking forward to playing it again, let's put it that way. So... You know, it just has some kind of weird things like, you know, if you have a coax machine gun, you can't fire it at the same target that the main armament goes. It just seems, you know, awfully restrictive. Well, then why even have it? You know, you're never going to fire the machine gun and not the main armament. But people seem to like it. I don't know when the rules were written. Glenn Casey, welcome back. I don't know when the rules were written, but they just seem very old. But if that's your favorite set of rules, well, that's good for you. They're just a little too. They're too vague for me to be interested in reading. Getting motivated to read about something. And there was a guy that used to run all kinds of stuff at the shows using that rule set. I don't really know what he saw in them, but what I'm looking forward to is playing in the seeing in the shows. The guy's running all day on Saturday. He's running 3 games of Lion Rampant and Crusades. Of course, he's doing it in 28s, but I'm kind of interested in seeing how that's going to play out, and maybe doing that with our 15mm figures. We'll see. I've played the rule set before, but let's get this bigger one up here. Yeah, there we go. Now, I'm not enjoying how fast the time is passing on this weekend. I just feel like I always have these ideas that I'm gonna get this done, I'm gonna get this done, I'm gonna get the other stuff done, and I'm gonna, and it doesn't happen just because it all takes a long time. There's no point in rushing it, but Alberto, it's late where you're at. It's tarde. So I went over there till about 3. We played. Then I got to help my mom with a couple things. And then I decided to jump on the Diablo 4 beta, which it's working a lot better than it did yesterday. I actually played for a fair amount of time. So I just said, well, I don't want to spend my entire day doing this. And I fell asleep, which happens to me all the time playing Diablo. It's a little too relaxing. Even though I was in the middle of a fight, I almost died. I'm like, I don't want to spend all night video gaming. Let's see what we got here. I don't know what it is, but I know what it is. The slide is just too powerful. And here's the T35, which is 1/87th scale. So it's smaller than the other stuff that I have. but I already had this model. So it's going to work for me. Okay, let's put this thing away. Now, let's go back to the JSU 122 we were working at this morning and the numberings on it. Okay, we did the 1511. Let's get the wet palette back out here. And actually, let me interrupt this. T-35 is your favorite tank. That's because you didn't have to be inside of one. Size has a value all of its own. Or something like that. I'm going to pull it back out here because I'd like to make the base for this JSU the same size. Or close to it. T-35 is your favorite. I don't know that I can narrow it down to what my favorite tank is. I just have too many. You know? There's too many tanks that I like. Now, one of these sides I cut. I have no idea which one it is. I think it was this side. I think it was that side. So, I think I went methodically with this. The footprint of this, width-wise, is what I want. And I believe I used, I don't even know how I don't even know how I got this little measuring thing. But I do. It says Crystal Stream Technologies. It must be something from work. And I believe we went 2 inches on the width. So let's mark off 2 inches here. And let's mark off 2 inches over here. Let's check if that width makes sense. Yep. Let's see, Exacta blade is here. Looks so ridiculous, it's sexy. Well, it's not, I don't know that I would call it sexy. I don't find it sexy. I don't find it really unattractive. What do you think is the most unattractive World War II tank? What gets your vote as the... I think one of the sexiest tanks is a Panther. I think a Panther is just really attractive. And I'm not going to use a straight edge to do this because if it slips on you, you're effed. What's the most unattractive tank? And boy, there's a bunch of them. I think the most unattractive vehicle is that damn amphibious truck, that duck or whatever. I think that thing is horrid looking. Anything Polish. I'm not a fan of the Valentine either. Not a fan of it. Poor man's Matilda. Okay, so we got a width here. Now, how frugal can I be? I mean, I don't mind cutting this base even smaller if I've got some usable space here. Let's go to this side. 4 inches. 4 inches is too big. And I wish this was metric, but it's not. Let's go to the half mark here. And then we're going to come here, put this one on the half mark, and go to 4. And yeah, I could be using a T-square or something like that, but I don't have one of them. I don't have it handy. Three and a half. Okay, so this is the one that's actually off a little bit. Got it. Now let's cut the corners, put the magnet on it and goop it. Let's let the goop dry. I think this vehicle is actually a good looking vehicle. The JSU 122. I think it looks pretty awesome. I think that M8 howitzer motor carriage, which is basically a short 75mm infantry gun, on like the hull of a Stewart, is really ugly. How was the game today? Well, it was really close. The company was good. I don't think I'm going to play Rapid Fire again. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet of like really cheap spaghetti. It lacks so much detail that I like in World War II games that it's not worth playing. You know, and this is my second time playing it, and it's just too vague for my taste. It's not made for me. I think Command Decision's a better game. At least second edition Command Decision. I haven't played anything newer than that. You know, we had a couple Stukas and they got run off the table. Like everybody within 24 inches got to fire back at them. And even though they didn't have any aircraft weapons, like even like the gun crew at we had to call them ahead of time, pick what turn they came in, pick the perfect turn for them to come in, and then everybody, before they got to attack, everybody got to shoot at them, and if they got a 6, they would get run off. And he had like freaking 8 rolls for 6s. Of course he's going to get one, so they never did anything. Then the next turn, had another one come in, same thing happened. So, both sides, both of us rolled pretty damn poor in most of the game. So it wasn't one of those where one side rolled better than the other one. No, there were some turns we rolled pretty good, and there were some turns they rolled pretty good. But then there were some turns towards the end it was like, man, just finish this damn thing already, because it was like nobody could hit anything. And we were on the offense as the Germans. I'm looking for my damn sandpaper. Just rip off a piece of this right here. I just started back playing World War II. I used to play World War II exclusively 20 years ago. And then I did Ancients and Medieval with DVA for the last 18 years. And I'm not playing that anymore as of October. It's just a little too vague for me, too abstract for my taste. But I played really anal retentive World War II stuff. But that's what I like. As much as I dislike Flames of War as a tournament game, I think it's probably better than Rapid Fire. I don't know. I'll have to play it soon so I can compare them, but all right, this will be the front side. And let's get a magnet, which we're running out of this stuff, and we just had some delivered yesterday while we're on our feed. But you know, if other people like to play a set of rules, let them play it. I just a little too vague for my taste. You know, there's games I've played before that I enjoy playing the game whether I win or not, because the mechanics are interesting. I think Rapid Fire is not that way. I don't really care. The tanks have moved only. There is a poltergeist at Tony's house. I don't believe in none of that shit. Ghosts. If ghosts are a thing, they only happen to bad people. I'm a good guy. They leave me alone. All right. I don't watch scary movies though. They put ideas in your fucking head, and then you can't sleep at night. Do not watch supernatural shit. My favorite is people that watch supernatural stuff but don't go on roller coasters. Oh, they're scared of roller coasters, but they watch shit about demons and crap. Speaking of demons, that Diablo 4 is pretty good. It wasn't working worth a damn yesterday. Today they've got it. It's still in beta. I think the wife and I are going to enjoy doing that a lot. It's definitely darker than the last one. I didn't have a problem with Diablo 3. A lot of people are like, it's not dark enough. Whatever. It feels like a different game, and it feels like the same game at the same time. It's weird to describe it. What is the game scale of rapid fire? It's 1 to 5. It's the same as Command Decision and Spearhead, which I don't mind 1 to 5. I mean, I look at 3 tanks and go, oh yeah, it's a company. You know, I grew up playing Command Decision. But, you know, check 35s are the same as 38s. Lots of stuff is just kind of abstracted away. It just doesn't. It's not for me. And the other thing is this, it uses at 1d6, so there's a lot of things that are equal to each other because there's only that many possibilities. Okay, so here's the base for the JSU 122. We're going to set it off to the side where it can dry. And now we will get this. Oh, why didn't I put this on the screen? Nope, that's the wrong one. No, which one of these is it? It should still be on here. Is it this? Well, that's the one we're going to use. Let's go ahead and adjust the properties. Let's go to Browse. We're going to need this on here for the numbers. In case you're wondering, we should be on here a long time today. Let's do this one. Done. All right, why isn't this one visible? There we go. Okay, here's the 1511. So it has a little tail on the ones, and we're going to thicken up the 5s and stuff like that. I was running out of time. I needed to. Like I said, the company was good, and that's really the reason I went to do it. So, because Monday Night Gaming is, I'm not going to be doing any until probably May. It's just getting to be a pain in the butt to do after work. trying to leave work at a decent time. All right, let's move Mr. T-35 out of the way. Oh, this is messed up. There we go. Okay, there's little tails on the ones, huh? Okay. We're gonna need more sustenance. Let's do one of these drops here, so it's handy. It's nearby. Let's add a little bit more amount of paint on here. How much of a curvature do we have? Well, it's hard to say on that side, but we're going to curve it up a little bit on the end, on the tail end of the 5. Let's do the same thing on the other side. But you know, gamers are strange. They'll like flock to a set of rules. And then maybe a couple years later, nobody's playing them. Right now, everybody, I read a lot of stuff about O group, O group, O group, O group, O group. I'm not sure who does O group. Is it a Lardy's game? Nearly 11:30 here. Gonna call it a night. Take care, everywhere. Enjoy your weekend. Okay, you too, man. We'll be on tomorrow morning. Gotta take my mom to a bus station. So I'm probably gonna have to cut off around 8:30 or so in the morning. Like we did today. And then we'll be back on. Maybe I'll get bored of this and start looking at my buildings. I said I was going to look at my buildings, but that involves tearing things out of the closet. And I want to do something productive, not destructive first. Okay. There's our 1511. Reichweitz Press do O Group, a Lardy offshoot for publishing games by other authors. Okay. Yeah, see, that's the... Everybody's talking about that game right now. But there's a lot of people that are always trying to chase the perfect game, and I don't know that they're going to find it. Okay. So, this stripe, the stripe from hell, is pretty wide. It's pretty wide. So what I like to do is I like to put a line in the middle. And one thing that's going to make a difference, let's see, where's that red star? I'm probably going to have to use the small red star for that. The small set of red stars. Let's use a bigger brush. And I'm probably going to end up having to correct this. Just because it's a whole lot of things got to go right for me not to correct this. And let's see if I can get some height advantage on this thing. There we go. Let's do that. We're going to need more substance of white. All right. I'm going to put the number right in the middle of it, because that just looks better to my eye. So I'm going to just kind of put a center line across here. And if it's not exactly the way it is on this vehicle, well, that's fine too. All right, and we're going to do the same thing on the other one. And it should be pretty close to even on it. So we've got the center line of that. All right, and with this large brush, let's add more. Let's add more white. We're going to build it up out from the center. And we're doing it kind of watery on purpose. I know they use these for Battle of Berlin. Tough. I just figured, I just really liked the way this looked. I really like the way this looked. And the little red star is just grand on there. I've never done anything like this before. Well, I did it on the roof. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to go over the front of the barrel. Some things just sometimes things don't look right to me. So again, let's add more paint. Yeah, this side looks good. This side looks really, really good. And I don't think it has anything on the front. It does have, oh, what the hell happened here? Holy limp noodle. Tighten this up here. Oh, that's the wrong way to tighten it. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to do anything on the roof. I think this looks plenty good. I am going to go over this little spot. But I'm going to leave the sides of that thing green, so it looks like they just took a quick brush to it. I'll do the same thing here. All right, let's take a look at the picture of the roof, or at least the representation here of the roof. Let's exchange this for, let's go down here at the bottom. Let's make this a little bit bigger. I'm definitely going to put the red star on this section of the hull. It just adds a little something there. Here and here. And we're going to use the smallest red stars I have. I don't think I'm going to do the roof. It looks weird going over this. I could do just, let's see, it'd be centered over the gun. So it'd go over this. I don't know. Let me think about it. Let's look at it at a distance. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. Back to this big one. Let's get some more sustenance. All right. And again, we're going to start off small. it right here. And this one's got to be centered. Not on the roof, but on the center of where that gun is. I gotta have it go over this. I have to have it go over this, the exhaust thing, or it's just gonna look weird. How wide this is gonna look reasonable is gonna be a bigger factor determined by how wide I can get on this exhaust fan. So let's increase the width a little bit. This way. All right, now let's make it a little bit wider. But using that tape and marking it off and stuff like that, that's just more difficult than just winging it here. Let's get a little bit closer to this gap. That's what the width is going to be. So we're going to make this a little bit wider. And the other side a little bit wider. Now, we'll step away from it. We're going to have a minimum of cleanup. I think that looks pretty good. Now, it's a little bit brighter than the one on the side. Let's take the one on the side and brighten up the center a little bit. All right, now see if we have some of this green left over. Where is this stuff right here? Here's some of the green from this morning. Let's get some black in there. Put that little gap in there again. Touch up this stuff. I don't like the stripe going all the way to the end of the barrel. I think it looks weird. It doesn't look right to me. Okay. Anything we got to do on the side here? gonna scuff up the white on that edge. Let's get it from this side. All right. So here is the striping on this JSU. I think it looks pretty good. Now, the fun part, we got to put that little red star. So let's go get our Soviet decals. And we're going to have to put a little dot of gloss coat on there, just for good measure. And we're probably going to use the smallest red stars we have. Well, we found the German ones, we found the American ones, but the one we're looking for is the Soviet ones. Yeah, we want to use the smallest ones. Let's get this out here. Which is this one right here. Yeah, the other ones are too big. And yes, I do have a 12.7 millimeter machine gun to put on the roof. We're not doing that until after it's everything else is built on it. All right, now I need to use another little container because the one I normally put these in is being used for other purposes. I could just empty the stuff out of it. Right back. Let's put some water on here. Can minimize this down here in the corner. Let's drop these little red stars in there. Now, let's go ahead and put Pledge Floor Care. And I don't care where it is on the model. I'm putting it in the center of this panel right here, and the center of this panel here, because that's where it looks. I think it's going to look correct for the balance. I better use a brush that's a little cleaner. Let's just use a new one for this. I don't need to put very much of the stuff on here. And we'll let that dry. 15 minutes or so, maybe even less. Dries pretty quick. I don't know if it makes that much of a difference. I just do it. Put a gloss coat on there. I still use the microset, sorry. And after you spray coat it with dull, that dull disappears. So, and we really can't do anything on here until we do the weathering afterwards. So I think this is going to be a good looking model. We have a shit ton of T3485s. Well, 8. I guess it's a shit ton. Let this dry for a little bit. Let's look at these 222s, and we can start customizing them to look different from each other. So there's one that I saw that had some smoke grenade launchers at the front. SDKFZ. I want to say it's the Tamiya kit. 222. And let's get images. That's correct. The Tamiya one has like a rack of smoke grenades on it. So, do I still have the parts for the road and out here? I may not have. No. Alright, so let's go ahead and pull that out. Get this out of the way. Brains, I'd put it right back in here, the extra pieces. Screen here. All right, let's see what. Well, we'll get to that in a second. Let's find the smoke grenade launchers in here. Here they are. And there's a gas can there. So let's get this off. It was just extra parts that I noticed. I'll leave the gas can attached there. What else is here? another set of of smoke grenade launchers. Well, I guess I could give them both smoke grenade launchers or make them different. We'll leave it attached. What else do we have in here? Another one. Wow, there's a... And another one. Oh, I'm going to cut another one out. Okay. Let's move them over here. They're separate gas cans, but they don't have... they're just kind of floating there. They don't have attachments or something on there, so... That's good to know I got an extra jack here. Alright. I got an extra jack there too. Now, let's see what extra parts are in the 231 armored cars. Other than, you know, extra holes for the other versions you can build. Nothing there. Nothing there. They may not have any like accessories and stuff on there. Okay, there aren't any. Alright, just figured I had this here, so might as well take a look at it. Now, let's see if we can find a picture of the 222 from the back, because there was an option. There was a plate, an armored plate that goes over the louvers on the back of the vehicle. That I'm not so certain that was standard on every single one of them. Oh, that needs to go with that. Okay. So back to the 222, and let's get a shot of the rear. Yeah, that one's from War Thunder. I don't exactly trust that very much. Okay, this one has it covered. This one has it covered. This one has it covered. Okay, they all seem to have that covered. All right, cool. Let's go back to here. All right, let's get these optional pieces that we were talking about here that we skipped over. Shovel seems to be a standard material here in this location. We're going to put the louvers on both of them. I mean, the armored cover. Yeah, it goes over these little things right here, which is kind of a shame because it's kind of a nice little detail that it has. Kind of a shame to cover that up. It fits right over it like this. Okay, where's the other one? Here it is. Okay, 2 covers of those. Let's get the 2 shovels out. There's one. Let's get the gas tank out. This is the other one, so we'll take this shovel off. And we got to put those little muffler thingies on. All right, let's go ahead and get rid of these turrets. Just get them out of the way. Look how finicky the seats are and stuff underneath. That's just way over the top. That's just unnecessary. Just unnecessary. Now it looks like this one has been sanded. We can put this away. We can put this away. No, not that one. We can put this one away. Had a little piece of orange sandpaper. No, guess I'll cut out another one. Five viewers, good evening, folks. Just after 8 p.m. here. Okay. Let's trim up the shovel. And this is yet another part that has no markings or anything on there that shows exactly how it fits. Which I guess some people would probably like because they have some freedom to where it's going to be put. Okay. Here's the other gas can. Anybody still use that the testers scoop the tube cement? Do you have to squeeze out? I'd be surprised if somebody does with all the options people have. All right, now let's get the Tamiya glue. when I built Tamiya models and used Tamiya paint on them, I don't believe the store had the Tamiya glue. Why did this fall off? I don't know if it's something they just didn't carry in the early 90s. All right. And the shovels. I'm actually going to flip this thing over. And I'm going to put a little bit of it here. And a little bit of it right there at that attachment point. And then we're going to use these tweezers to glue it in place like so. And we do the same thing with the other one. Flip it upside down. All right. These jerry cans aren't even visible on one of them. But here it shows them interesting. It shows them that they're sitting in a basket like this. So this is the side that needs to be towards the outside. However, the jerry can fits the other way. What does it say in here? Not there. No. It fits towards the front here, but in the artist drawing, it fits towards the rear. We'll have them fit towards the front. And how far along are they on from the top of the vehicle? Okay, close to the top of the vehicle. All right, cool. So we're going to flip this thing over. I'm going to come here, flip this thing back over. And that one's going to sit like that. I'm going to go ahead and put them both on. All right. Then we've got these little smoke grenade launchers. Yeah, I woke up and look how much coffee I've had. Only a third of it. This stuff is strong as shit. So we're going to take one more sip. And let's go trade out for a Coke. Put these smoke grenade launchers on there. And then we'll go put those Red Star decals. Actually, let's put this back in the fridge. All right. Let's see what this looks like before we glue these on. We may not like how they look. No, I like how they look. Let's go ahead and install them on there. We'll make them both the same. They just sit on this bumper. It's a company called, I want to say Black Dog, and they make a lot of detail sets for these vehicles. But the detail set for these vehicles is like $20 freaking dollars. Just doesn't seem like a good value. Now it looks cool, but the one that looks really cool is they make a set for the 263 armored car, and it looks like everything they found on the way on the highway they threw on this armored car, and it definitely looks very gypsy caravanish. However, they don't make any sets for the Soviets. I could make the stuff out of green stuff, but you know, at some point, enough. All right, let's get the red stars. Let's put a little bit of micro set on here. Make sure this is closed up. This is going to look really good. Okay, let's set this off to the side. All right, we got some mufflers and shit to put on here. Let's put my glasses back on so I can find them. A couple jacks too. That we skipped over, those little circle parts. Okay, so the muffler I took off was the one that fits on this side of the vehicle, and I could even tell it. And the thing is it is going to attach, or it's supposed to attach like so. And it sits at what kind of an angle? Alright. Let's move Mr. JSU out of the way. Now, if I needed to get other JSUs, I'd get the S model ones. They make them in a 2-pack. They also make a JS2 in a 2-pack. You know, they're not going to be able to join up exactly, but it's going to be close. That's where that needs to be. Okay, one of these only has one muffler because the other one is that one. That's this one. So this is the one for the other side. I'm surprised a lot of people gave me comments on this Dragon armored car that they did not have. They were not fans of Dragon kits. I was surprised. I'd always heard that everybody was, you know, a huge fan of these guys, but these are pretty finicky. Okay. Now this one, we're going to flip it over. We're going to add the cement here. And then we're going to hold on a second. When I put this together, this was the piece that it told me to put here. I don't think it is. I think this one goes here and the other one goes over the other place. Let's check that. Because this has a slight bend. This looks like the piece that goes here. That goes like that. And then this one, this is one of these things that if you sand it, there's no good place to hold on to it. All right. And we dumped it there. And there it is. Yep, we only took one hook off. Perfect. There's one of them. And here's the other one. And same thing on this side. Yeah, this thing already twisted on me. This is super finicky. All right, let's do the back two for the other one. And the mufflers. These weren't cut off at all. Okay. This is the one that fits on one side. And here's the one that fits on another side. Yeah. Here. And here. You want this little tube facing up. And if you're wondering, why is this so damn finicky? That's a damn good question. Yeah, this one doesn't fit in the right place either. No, I think we're just going to have to make this the best we can. I was a bigger fan of building models before the internet because if you wanted to see what a vehicle looked like from all angles. We didn't have the internet. You have to go build a model of it. All right, we need some hooks here. Uh-oh, the shovel fell off. And you guys see something really weird that happened on St. Patty's Day? If you went out, okay, I just had it right here. Well, I'm not going to chase it around. I just will install it. Because if it's on the ground, I'm not. As careful as I am, it's still not careful enough. Oh, it's all the way over here. That's the thing with plastic parts is they don't weigh anything. So they can travel a long ways away when you don't expect them to. Okay, that's the 4 tow hooks on the rear. I hope there aren't any on the front. Of course there are. Nope, these are the ones on the rear. Yeah, the ones at the front sit on that notch. Jeez. And it is accessible. Ay, Dios mío. Okay. It's going to sit here, and it's going to sit here. Bloody hooks. Just the one that needs the shovel. You can tell where the joining points are. Alright, let's leave that little finicky thing alone. You long gave up by now, not build a kit for over 25 years. I guess 5 or 6 part skeletons don't count. One of my favorite fantasy creatures are skeletons. What's really weird is if you have skeletons that are not human. I just think that they're rather odd looking. Especially if it's like dwarf skeletons. Like stumpy skeletons. Okay. Go back to this one. Let's cut both of these off. Yeah, I could see this totally driving somebody mad. We'll go try to put them on there. I don't know how long they'll last. A lot of this stuff seems to be really they made an effort of making it in scale with everything else, which of course means they're very diminutive. Lots of different races painted and more to come, plus your made up ones. A made up, I think species would probably be more accurate than race. But yeah, race probably is what it's called in fantasy games, but different species. Yeah. Did you ever see that book that I have? And I picked it up around 1986. I talked about it about a year ago. And it's kind of a setting for the lost world of Atlantis, but it has some similarities to the rural Earth. You know, it doesn't look like Pangea, but you can tell where some continents look, and there's different species in that. Like Europe will have like one place is like dragons, another place has like orcs and stuff like that. And need to paint some color. Yeah, because you're just doing off-white stuff. Well, that's your name, Barnes White. All right, so those two are done with that. What else do we have to do? The little things that go on the tires that are optional. I am going to put them on there. I've seen them on just about every vehicle. Oh, how did these guys get intertwined? Let's cut off these. Which side fits towards the inside? Let me check one other thing. Let's look at the box art. They have them there, and they have them on both of these. Okay. One, two, 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 two. All right. Is there something that you've painted before and just never did anything with it? Like fantasy miniatures, like you built a whole army and you never played it? And do you regret that, or you're just fine like, they look good and I'm happy with them. We'll put them in a case and just kind of leave them alone. It's okay if I don't play a game with them, kind of thing. All right. Six millimeter ultra modern. Never did anything with them, huh? Speaking of ultra modern, have you seen that board game called? God, I want to say it's by Flying Pig Games or something like that. Something Pig Games, and I think it's called Armageddon War, and it is a hex and counter game, and it looks beautiful. I love the way it looks, and that's what it is. It's ultra modern. It's like in the future, like 2030 kind of thing. Which you better hurry up and play the game, or it ends up being something that you actually end up playing in the past. But it's a beautiful looking game. That's the only project you never finished. Well, that's pretty good if you only got one. Okay. Those little things on the wheels are done. Let's go to... Is this thing kaput? It is. I'm going to pitch it. I'm not keeping it for sprue. I got so much sprue. You think you were looking at that the other week. I think the game looks beautiful. And I think there's a playthrough of it on there. I mean, and I think it's got like big counters. I mean, I don't think the counters are this big, but they're maybe a quarter of the size of this. Good size counters. Beautiful looking game. Got Americans and Russians and Israelis and different Arab factions, including terrorist nations that don't exist at this time. Fake ISIS type stuff. Something Pig Games. Flamin' Pig or Pigzilla. I don't know what it is. Beautiful, beautiful game. Armageddon War, I believe is what it's called. I don't mind board games, but I'd like for them to look sexy. And there's lots of them that do. Gosh, how does it get to be so late? How does it get to be so late? Oh, finicky little models. Okay, we got a couple jacks to put on here. I believe they go on the left rear fender. Yep. And they're both cut out. I gotta cut it from this is tricky. Good, I stopped it. Whew. And this one goes like this. Okay, the other one's already been trimmed. Cool. There's a game by, talking about good looking games, there's a game by a company called, I want to say it was Worthington. I don't remember what it's called. That's about Rourke's Drift. And it looks gorgeous. And it's something I'm zero interest in. And it was just a gorgeously presented game. The game may suck. I don't know. Looks wonderful. Looks wonderful. Okay, this looks like it almost like sticks off the fender. Let's consult the. A lot of consulting here. Come on, show me the other side of the vehicle. Yeah. Yep, sticking off the. All right, so we're gonna put it here, across the top here. What was the name of that movie that Nordic recommended it for me to watch? Said it was garbage, but the action, or maybe it wasn't Nordic. Somebody said the action sequences were good, even though the storyline was bad. I'm sure it's a campy movie that's on Netflix or something like that. Then we have this little part that fits at the top of the license plate on the one side. And that's it. Other than the grenade screens, they're photo etch. But I'm going to do something before I get to the grenade screens that are photo etched. Here are these two pieces. He was looking at various board games for Christmas. I realized I wouldn't have time to learn and play them. I would have time to play them. I just don't have a lot of interest in learning how to play them. I'd rather do something else. I've gotten to the point that things that I find frustrating or unsatisfying at work, sits over the front of it. Okay. At work or in my DBA tournament experience, I just don't want to do anymore. Literally, like the last effing piece. Here it is. That's it, right? Other than the grenade screens. Let's make sure these things on the wheels didn't move. No. No. Okay, cool. All right. The one thing that I need to look at before I put the grenade screens on. I hope I can find this. I don't think they're far away. I could be wrong. Let's see. Let me think about this. Let's look here first. There they are. Huh. If everything was so easy. I'm gonna see if I have some crew members. And no, I won't put them inside because you can't put anything on top of those seats. They would fall apart. But I believe there's some Panzer crew here that are sitting in positions that are like not useful for much. And I will give you an example of one. You have like a guy sitting on the turret, and we have, say, the grenade screens open, and then you got a guy that's sitting like that. And dude, I think that's gonna work. He's got an MP40. Not sure what kind of a silly hat he's got on. I think I'm gonna have this one, the grenade screens, and put the guy in there. It's like perfect. These are War Games Foundry figures. I don't see anything else I'd be able to use this guy for. This guy is just kind of sitting. I don't think I can do the same thing with this one, but let's take a look at him. Oh, this one hasn't been trimmed. Yeah, I think it looks good. I like putting the figures in there for scale. Wow, this is just... these seats and stuff down here, that's just absurd amount of... finickiness. And the first to fight models, all that undercarriage stuff is one piece. Let's see what this guy looks like. He may not fit. Because to do that, I don't think the grenade screens can be. I think they've got to be attached on the sides. Yeah, they attach on the sides. So I wouldn't be able to put him like that. He's got to be like on the back. But this guy's a winner. I think this guy's a winner. But this is a figure I don't really have much use for either. It'd been perfect in here. I don't really want to cut him down any. Well, yeah, he's just missing too much of the stuff on here. Okay, let's put these guys away. I got these a long time ago. I snagged them from eBay back when these things were out of production, and these things were going for a crazy amount of money. I didn't pay a crazy amount of money, but I believe that's the Perry brothers sculpted those. Back when they used to do other stuff that wasn't just 28s. I do not do 28s. All right, and probably never will. Now, I'm fully prepared to not put these things on here if they cause too much of a trouble. And it's actually not that they cause too much trouble, it's just gluing. I don't like the glues you gotta use for this kind of stuff. Yeah, we gotta bend them. I got it. I get it. This stuff is actually pretty strong compared to all this other plastic. So this is where being nearsighted comes in handy. Cut that off there, cut that off there, cut that there, cut that here. Okay. And we'll do the same with the other side. Yeah, it actually seems pretty solid compared to how flimsy the 20 millimeter. And I think the First to Fight one, I believe the grenade screens are like solid. Like they'll have this pattern on it. All right, here's the two things. Look at this cute little. Yeah, I like how he looks. All right. I actually like the photo etch stuff. I just don't like the glues I have to use to attach it. They're all thick. All right, we're not gonna f with that. All right, bend these pieces down. Got it. See what this looks like with the closed one. That one actually is further flush. So this guy's going to get transferred to this one. Okay. See, this I don't think is super finicky because this is on there hard enough. Yeah, so let's pull this out. And if this one was the one that was open, no, well, it only works if you use the correct side. That's going to need to attach there. Okay, I don't want to mess with that tonight. I don't feel like messing with that tonight. I am going to cut this other piece out. Let me check on one thing. Okay, cool. All right, let's do the same thing. Let's take this out. The ones that come with S models are particularly good because they even come with 20 millimeter barrels for the Panzer IIs were a little turned brass barrel. That was amazing. That's going to be a hell of a lot more durable than anything else. Okay, that's done. Let's clean these up. You'd be totally fresh for something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Look at this. Look at these tweezers that I have that are like square. What if I went all the way to the spot where it meet? No, even better. Get the edge up to that bend, and then bend it down. Holy shit. I may rebend the other one. And this one still presents a challenge now because we've got there we go. This is actually really easy to do compared to everything else on the model. Gluing these is gonna suck. But we're gonna use epoxy and be extremely careful how we do it. Okay. No. Yeah, see, this actually won't bend easy. It won't crack. I mean, I got to be really abusive to it. Just want to see what it looks like. Ish. Man, I think I could get away with not having a crew in there. They're not that noticeable with the grenade screens on there. But some DevCon this week, you're finished with super glue now. Isn't it great? So when I grew up with super glue, with epoxy, it sucked. And I think it was because it was sitting on the shelf too long. It was that double syringe. This stuff's amazing, you know? And I'm just now starting to have issues with it with like the cracked tip, but I've had those same two for 15 years. Yeah, super glue just, it's too brittle. And as soon as it flexes a tiny little bit, it breaks, then you got to get the stuff off. Epoxy's the way to go, you know, and apply it with a needle. You can just clean that needle off and keep reusing it. Don't use a little piece of wood, you know. Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of epoxy for sure, for sure. I'm glad they had DevCon where you're at. All right, so we're going to sit these guys off to the side. It's nice that we have a little crew member. We're definitely going to do that. It adds a little bit of personality to it. Okay, we're going to sit these guys. They're safe over here. Let's weather this bastard. I can certainly handle that. And then we'll call it a night after weathering this. This isn't dry yet, is it? Oh, no. Whoops. But I am going to do something because I think it made my life a little easier. No, you won't. I won't do that. Because then I got to get that stuff on there. You managed to track some on eBay. Wow. Oh, because you can't get that in the... You're in the UK, I think. Aren't you? Okay, I think that white turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this. This is definitely has some personality. And it's a good looking vehicle. And we've got the 12.7 millimeter machine gun that we're going to epoxy here. So, all right, let's get our colors out. And I don't bother trying to seal it and then doing this because then I'm going to want to seal it again. Eric Gray, there you are. Yeah, it does look good. See, you can make, German stuff automatically can look cool relatively easy. But like Shermans, Soviet tanks, they take a little bit more creativity. And I enjoy doing especially the Soviet tanks. It's just something different, You can't just I got plenty of German stuff to do, but they need somebody to fight. And the nice thing is on that flea market, that estate sale, I got a ton of vehicles, and they're mostly 80% of them Soviet, and that's perfect because they had a shitload of vehicles. They had a shitload of vehicles. I want to use a new effing brush for this, or a newish brush. This one will work. Yeah, you don't get much cool camo on Allied vehicles. Well, to be honest with you, sometimes the German camouflage that the Germans did looks like shit. It's like slopped on. Sometimes it looks pretty badass. Sometimes it looks like crap. The British have some cool freaking camouflage on many of their tanks frequently. All right, so this is the U.S. Field Drab, which is the top shade of the groundwork that we're going to do that matches that. So we're going to go over this. And I did not paint the tools on purpose because I do not want to paint the tools and then dry brush over them and they get dusty. Sorry, the tools need to pop out a little bit. So I unrealistically do not weather the tools. Let's get on here. This actually has some nice detail that pops on the tracks. God, this thing's gonna look. I'm gonna want to do more Soviet vehicles after I'm done with this. I can already tell already. Good thing I got plenty of them to do. Don't have any KVs and KV 1s or 2s, unfortunately. Let's get back in there some. We are going to do some camouflage Soviet vehicles. I got a whole bunch more of the early T-34s. And there's a couple of units of those that use like 3-color camouflage. But that's the exception, not the rule. So I don't want to paint a bunch of exceptions first. That doesn't look right. So we're doing all the boring ones first. And here's going to be one more dry brush color on this, so we don't want to go ape shit. Now this model actually had pretty good detail on it, except for the fuel. The fuel canisters were really shoddy. So if you see that they look very crude, well, that's what I had to deal with. You know, the 2nd Armored Division in Normandy used a black overspray for camouflage on many of its tanks, and it looks really good. However, the flip side of that coin is those vehicles didn't have any white stars on them. So it looks like it's missing something. And that's a shame because those Shermans actually look pretty freaking cool. All right, so some of this dirt worked its way up the side here. This is all dusty. Because even though it didn't get up to a high rate of speed, these things aren't fast. And all this dust was kicking up here. How's it going, man? Painting a Russian behemoth. Look at this. Isn't this fucker cool? I love this hobby. I love this hobby. I love it that I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do next after I'm done with this. Perfect. Not like, oh, I got to paint more knights in 15 millimeter. You know? I feel like I've got freedom of creativity. What always fits and never goes out of style? Freedom. Do I still have it in the bottom? Yeah. But I did my own take on it. I didn't like the white stripe on the top of this. It looks stupid. I didn't care for it. You know? And we're just going to have a little bit of, like it's dustified. And I like putting a little bit on the edges. You know what else fits and never goes out of style? Hot women bikinis. Yeah, but maybe other women may not like that. Freedom works for everybody, no matter what you're into. Oh, we need to do the tracks down here. Drakonov. Yeah, I believe it is a 1/35th scale tank. It was the inspiration for this. And I know it's Battle of Berlin. I don't give a shit. I love these white stripes. You know, I love these white stripes. So they make some really cool plastic figures for Volksturm guys. You know, like guys that are like in civilian wear. I mean, just give everybody a bunch of Volksturm guys. You got to stop these bastards plowing into a town. I don't really want to do a bunch of German buildings. Yeah, and this actually will look better in real life than in this. Weren't they unique to guard units? No, the white stripes were. I think pretty much everybody that went into Berlin had it. And that's the thing that really sucks about the Soviet stuff is, you know, we got lots of information on the German units and what they consisted of and the markings that they had. The Soviet stuff, it's like, you know, it's very hard to get your head around. You know, I mean, there were some tank brigades that would have like a symbol on them, like they'd have like an elephant, or they would have a like an animal. You know, just kind of how the Polish liberation vehicles had that white eagle. There was other ones that did stuff like that, but it's hard to get all that information in one place. So this is the base color, which is which is the U.S. field drab. Let's go to Iraqi sand, finish the job, and that way tomorrow I can spray this bastard, and we can put it on a stand. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's probably my favorite vehicle when I'm done with it. I'm really, really liking this thing. It's a shame that I made it with the hatches closed. But honestly, they're pretty shoddy. I didn't have crew members at the time. But S Model makes these. No reason I can't get more. This is a great vehicle for skirmish. It fires slow. It has a really big blind. I don't know if my rules have this, okay? I'm warning you, I'm about to get super nerdy. There is, I'm going to use a Sherman for an example. Let's just pretend this is a Sherman. I don't want to go grab the Sherman. But, and I've talked about this before, there is a space, and you got to remember, this is because it's actual scale. There is a space between the vehicle and the ground in front of it that you cannot get hit by an HE round of the vehicle. And that depends on how high the gun is and its maximum depression. On a Sherman, it's like 25 feet. So 25 feet around the Sherman, you can't get hit if you're infantry by the HE shell. So that's, you know, that's about this much in. So if you've got infantry, you want to run into that distance. Of course, you got machine guns and other stuff you got to worry about, but this is definitely a close combat friendly game. Now, today, when I was playing, what the hell was the game I was playing? Rapid Fire. I moved in to do some close combat with some 18 pounders, and they outfought me because the guys that were the gun crew fight as good as regular infantry. It was just, there was so many things about the game that just left me like, I don't want to play this again. You know? You know, we had two Stukas. Neither one of them did everything because everybody within 24 inches of them got a shot at them, and if they rolled a 6, they couldn't do anything. Like the Stuka's way the F up there, and you don't have any anti-aircraft guns. You know, even the 18-pounder crews got to fire at them. It was very unsatisfying. You know, very hokey. So I don't think I'm going to play Rapid Fire again. Not for me. But I brought my infantry into close combat, you know, and it couldn't get the job done. I mean, and that's what they're for. I don't know if Face of Battle has that, but I'm going to put it in there because I think it's pretty dramatic. It's pretty important. I fully expect this to be my favorite vehicle I painted. Just a combination of. I'm really glad I went with this paint scheme. And actually, of all of the Soviet vehicles I've seen, well, of all the Soviet vehicles that I painted so far, these JSUs have some of the coolest markings of any of them. There's so many of them that have cool markings. T-3045s aren't bad either, but I haven't built them yet. They're coming. You got to play games you like. Well, I played it for the company. The company was good. We all rolled like ass at certain points. But the Stuka thing was really disappointing. I didn't need to be, like neither one of them got to drop their bombs. Like, what the hell good is a Stuka without dropping its bomb? And you had to call in ahead of time, and I picked the exact correct time to call it in. When we need to be able to spot the units from the ground, we spotted them. We spotted them. They were at the correct time and everything, but it was just hokey. I don't know. I bet Flames of War is better for me. I don't want to play a Flames of War tournament, but a one-off battle or whatever. I just don't like how people set up all their stuff like a Napoleonic column when they're playing those games. But that's probably the player. This is probably the worst model I've built from the standpoint of flash and vague instructions. Fortunately, there's a lot of pictures of these guys, drawings, etc., that you can draw from online. And we still got to do a little bit of Nolan oil on the back deck. But this is no chipping. This is no heavy weathering. This is no this is old school. This is painting how I would have painted in the 90s. These models have lots of detail, and you got to use methods that's going to make all the stuff stand out 3 feet away so you can see it. And we'll leave the end how it is. Maybe a little bit so there's some details there that stand out. All right, let's see how this bastard looks. We step away from it. Oh, we got to paint the tools too. Holy fuck, that looks great. Wow. I mean, it's really, the model has a lot of details on it. That you just need to make them pop. All right, let's put T-35 away. See how it looks like hanging out with one of its cronies. D6 based World War II have some weird stuff happen. Yep. There's too many modifiers that need included the D6 just can't handle. I'm a percentile guy. Absolutely. I could see this guy and the two SU-100s all hanging out together. And they have to get from one side of the board to the other. Then the Germans have to stop them. And Germans have some Panzerfaust. Yeah. Somebody hits... I don't know. The front armor on this thing may be able to survive a Panzerfaust attack. Maybe. Maybe. Pretty much any other vehicle. You get hit by a Panzerfaust, you're effed. It's just over. You know, the thing is that they're very hard to hit because they have a very short range. Well, I'm playing on a battlefield that the map across is only 120 meters. So, Panzerfaust's gonna be popping. Yeah, this light just has way too much kickback. You're getting a lot of shine there that doesn't exist. That's just the nature of the beast, unfortunately. That's just the nature of the beast. Let's see if we can. Looks more like that. Man, I really like this thing. I've had this thing built for a long time, too. Okay. Let's get some Nuln Oil in here. You had fun playing Flames of War with certain individuals, but as a whole, I'd rather not go back to that game. Yeah, not overdone. I don't think my stuff's overdone. And it needs to match what your infantry looks like. You know? Don't worry, we'll get to the infantry. I need to refurb them all to the new, a more modern basing style. I don't think this is too big. I think we can get away with doing this. Maybe. These incorrigible lids. Let's get in here. That's what we want. Just a subtle little stuff. I may not put the machine gun on it. It's kind of flimsy. You unloaded all your Flames of War and Team Yankee stuff at the flea market, Siege of Augusta. Yeah, I think the Team Yankee's even worse the way it looks with all the tanks right next to each other. I think the rules might actually be okay if you just run scenarios. But it's D6 too, isn't it? Isn't Flames of War D6? I mean, at least Command Decision was D10. Yes, that's my stomach, Nordic. It was thinking of you. Hungry. Okay, the exhaust is here on these weird vehicles. Oh, we have a light. We got a couple little things there. Let's get all this stuff painted tonight. I'm close enough that we can finish this stuff. That way we can spray in the morning and get this thing looking all based and sexy. Combined Arms was your favorite World War II set. I was disappointed. I lost my copy of it. And I was disappointed that they didn't have the tanks from the 50s in there. Like I would like to do something like Combined Arms in like maybe 1959, fold a gap. So you've got the three classes of tanks. You've got, like, for the Americans, you can have those M103s, which I think are really, really cool looking. You can have the Pattons in the middle, especially if you're using M47s. That'd be pretty cool. And then you can have Walker Bulldogs. You can have all three of them, plus the Soviet equivalent stuff. I think that would, do an Eisenhower period fold a gap. I think that would be cool. But they don't have the stats for them. Could probably make them up, but yeah, that's what I grew up playing, those kind of rules. I think that they could probably use some modifying so that you have more choices of what to do on your turn. Because my only gripe is that infantry are kind of vague, but honestly, I was playing that rapid fire game today, wishing I was playing one of Chadwick's games because it just left me. It left me wanting. It left me wanting to not play it again. Is what it left me wanting. All right. Is the white okay? Let's see if Mr. White's okay. Why is it that people who play Cold War Gone Hot always focus it in the 80s? Because the music's better? You can play that Luftballon song over and 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 over. I'd rather do it without the damn M1s. The M1s just ruin games. And if the M1s really are as good as they say that they are in the rules, why in the F are we selling them to anybody? I wouldn't give them to anybody. Yeah, I haven't played them in a long time. We used to do them with micro armor. I just wouldn't do it with micro armor. Micro armor just the infantry just is unsatisfying looking. Oh shit. That and what's his name? Steven Burkoff from Octopussy. You know what I'm talking about. You guys are old enough. '67 War as late as you want to play. I don't know. I'd love to do the '73. One of the first games I ever played was the '73 War. I think the '73 War is a little bit more balanced. '67 War is like the Israelis catch the Arabs with their pants down. They rape them, and they don't. Even, and the Arabs don't even get to pick the hole they get raped in. It's like that's no fun. Okay, you went off on a tear on Germanic. Sowas von sowas kom. I don't speak German. I only know Blitzkrieg German. That's World War II words. Man, those Stukas suck. I can't believe we got to use Stukas and we didn't get to use Stukas. And I love me some Stukas. It was my favorite plane. They just look wicked. All right. And that's made of metal. Let's get some black. Why couldn't I use Stukas? Well, we had to write down what turn they came in, and we timed it perfectly because you had to be able to have the stuff spotted that they want to go. There was a battery of 18 pounders, 18/25 pounders that was on the edge of the board on a hill that I wanted to take them out, and I said Stukas would be perfect for that. Before the Stukas got to attack, everybody within 24 inches of the point they were attacking got to fire on the Stukas. And they got a 1d6, no matter what the unit was. It didn't matter if it was an artillery unit, cooks, it didn't matter. So every single group, which there was a shit ton of, there was like 7, all got to roll a d6. And on a roll of a 6, the Stukas would break off. And I had one Stuka coming in on turn 4 and another one on turn 5. And I did not know that if there was 2 Stukas attacking and one of them broke off, one of them would still get to attack. But they got that do that twice and they ran them both off. So it just sucked. That's all right. The Stukas are way the F up here, and then they drop. And there's literally no anti-aircraft units. Oh, and thank you for not putting an apostrophe on Stukas. That's my pet peeve when people pluralize things by apostrophizing them. Apostrophizing them? Well, I got a replacement headphones, so much better than the stupid earbuds. Excellent. Which ones did you get? See, I don't mind the earbuds because the headphones make my ears hot. This breaker bar is all metallic. Anything else? These shackles. Get out of there. And then where's my wood color? Here she is. Beige brown works nicely. Yep. They didn't have any machine gun units. It just it left a bad taste in my mouth. That's all. And it wasn't just that. It was just you'd play a World War II game, just gonna make you. It was gonna leave me wanting to read about the history of it, and I couldn't care less. But the company was good. We had a good time, you know. And I don't mind a 1 to 5 scale game. I'm actually, other than 1 to 1, that's my second preference. But in that game, the Czech 35s are exactly the same as the Czech 38s. Dumb. Dumb for me. Sony over the year ones. I had the same pair the last couple times I needed earphones. Okay. Yeah, sometimes those things are expensive. My daughter uses to go to the gym. She's got one of those Beats or whatever. Freaking minor 49er whore. Whore? Ho. There are no whores in Russian army. You provide the service but do not get to charge. All right. Now let's get the metallic color, which I still insist using, even though it seems like the trend. A lot of people are doing it with grays. I'm just old school. These Sony headphones cost $10. What? How did you get something that only cost $10? Were they used or something? Well, good for you that they only cost $10. No reason to overpay for shit. $10, $10. $10 make you holla. Best Buy has it on sale. Good. $25 still a good price. Might be one of those things that had them in because everybody wants to buy the earbuds. I don't know. Sometimes other people's loss is your gain, you know? I know last time I went to Best Buy and tried to buy something for my video thingy, I wanted to get the microphones. And the microphones, they had their only Insignia brand. And they were like $70 for a fucking microphone. I'm like, and you know, it's just made in you know where. So I just went on Amazon and bought them. And then I realized, you know what? The speaker on the freaking phone is just as good as, I mean, this speaker, the one you can hear, you know, a fly next door fart. Microphone, that one's good. Okay, but it was also almost $100. One of those blue, what is it, Blue Yeti? Is that what it's called? Yeah. That was my splurge. But hey, I've used it a lot of times now. So, you know, but if I'm just like doing regular videos, man, the microphone that's on the camera is just as good as the little, maybe if you bought like a really expensive lapel mic, but I'm not going to spend, you know, $150 on a lapel mic. So, is this guy done? Let's take a look at him. Uh-oh. Did my camera freeze? Son of a bitch, my camera froze. When the hell did that happen? All right. I'll show you. Hello. All right. This is a better camera anyways. We need more. Let's see if we can get away with this. I assume I'm still online. Let's get some other lights up here. No. Up is worse. This is where we're going to leave this guy at. And we will spray her in the morning. And she ought to look pretty good. I'm not going to reconnect the camera because it's time to sign off anyways. But you have a question. Let's see. Maybe you can help me figure out where to start with Napoleonics. Ultimately, French and Austrians. Definitely. If I did Napoleonics, French and Austrians, and then add Russians. Should I start with Wagram and work backwards, or start with the first battle of the campaign and work towards Wagram? Well, if it was me, I would start with Marengo and work that way. But I think any of those are fine. I think Austrians and French are cool. The Austrians don't suck that bad. So, but anyhow, we will continue with this guy. I think the other thing's still frozen. Yeah, and I can unfreeze it, but you know it's time to sign off and get some shut eye. Anyways, we'll continue with this spraying this guy in the morning, and see if we can get it to take some Panzerfaust. So. Anyhow, thanks for stopping by. We'll be on in the morning at our regular scheduled bat time. And I am going to have to sign off about 8:30 or so. I got to take my mom to the bus station. But then I'll be back on. Tomorrow's going to be a heavy painting day because it's the last day I got before the girls are back. So we want to get some stuff in there. I haven't even explored the buildings. I know I said I was going to show those buildings off. So anyhow, we will plan on doing all those good stuff tomorrow. But like I said, this takes a long time. So I was on here a while. What is it? 3.5 hours, and I feel like I didn't get a lot done, but I did. It's just stuff that just takes a lot of time. But anyhow, as always, thanks for coming by, folks, and we'll see